Hi, Mr. Keatlong. How are you doing?
Good, yes, very well, thank you.
So you play against F91 Dudelange tomorrow. What do you know about, the club, about the country?
Not a huge amount, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I remember Dudelange played in 2012 against UCD. UCD were in the first division in our country, so we operate out of the Premier Division. UCD, I think, went through that round. They beat Dudelange, but that was 8 years ago, so a long time ago. Dudelange has won many championships. That finished second last year, like ourselves. So obviously we're in the second qualifying round of the UEFA Conference, and they've got some good players, some experienced players, some highly technical players. I think it's certainly will be a step up from our first round opponents, which is no disrespect to them, but we're expecting a tough challenge here. The conditions are hot, the conditions are sticky. It's our first look at the stadium here tonight, so we're really looking forward to it. It's a great game for our boys. We got a young team, we got a developing team, and hopefully we can put in a good performance tomorrow night.
They played twice in Europa League in consecutive seasons. Now, of course, the team is a far cry from that team. They had like a revamp in every position and everything. Is that knowing that they played at such a high level because they kept AC Milan at bay for I don't know how many minutes. They only lost 1-0 and then they went on to win some other games. Is that like a fear factor, or like do you use that as an added incentive to know that this club made history 2 years ago and 3 years ago even?
Yes, they obviously qualified for the Europa League, the group stages, and it's a fantastic achievement for a small club in a small country with a small population. As you said, there's lots of changes since then. So there's no doubt we're the underdogs. Dudelange will be the favourites to go through.
Really? You think that?
I would imagine so. Yeah, I would imagine so. But I suppose there's been lots of changes between 2019-2020 season when Dudelange competed in the group stages. So we can't look too much into that. We've got to try and look after our own performance, look after what we do, and try and put in the best performance that we possibly can here against a really good side.
This Europa Conference League has attracted a lot of criticism, even by some famous pundits like Rio Ferdinand, Jermaine Ginas. What do you think about this Europa Conference League?
Well, it's I suppose it's in its infancy. This is the first year. So we've got to give it an opportunity to see how it develops as a competition. It's obviously for small countries like ourselves, developing countries like ourselves, like Luxembourg. It's critical that we can compete at this level to play against European opposition, different opposition. So it's really important that this competition is given every chance. Obviously, Rio Ferdinand is played at the highest level for his country and for Manchester United. So it's easy for them to say at that when they're at that high level.
Yeah.
So it's important that the competition is treated with respect. I think the teams that are involved in the competition certainly will treat it with respect. There's a lot of money at stake for clubs, small clubs, and listen, we just want to make sure that we qualified for the second round. The big challenge for us now is can we put in a really good performance here tomorrow night against a good side in the hot, sticky conditions that they are. We're not used to this type of heat. So, but we're looking forward to the game. We're looking forward to the challenge. We're in season. Dudelange are in pre-season. So.
You have an advantage from that point of view.
From a fitness point of view, we have an advantage. Obviously, they've had lots of change in terms of personnel and so on. So maybe from a cohesion point of view also, we might have a slight advantage because we're a team that's used to playing together. We had a slow start to our domestic campaign this year, insofar as that we had lots of turnover ourselves in playing staff. We brought lots of new players into the club, new faces into the club. So, it took them time to bed in. And we'll see tomorrow night, what the challenge is. It's okay watching teams on video. It's okay getting scouting reports, match reports, but it's pretty difficult to determine exactly what tempo and what intensity Dudelange will play at tomorrow.
I don't want to go too much into tactic, but are you going to be like on the front foot, or you're going to concede like possession to the opponent?
We'll play our normal game.
On the front foot then?
We would like to play our normal game. That obviously sometimes is dictated to by the opposition and the quality of the opposition.
Yeah.
But we have to come here with the trust and belief in our own team, our own players, and believe that we can put in a high quality performance.
What does Bohemians need to bridge the gap with the top of the land? I mean, they haven't won the league. You haven't won the league for 12 years.
Yeah.
I know the story a little bit. There were some financial issues and everything, but yeah, do you believe that you can lead this club, because you have done a good job since taking over? Do you think you can lead this club sooner or later to glory?
We built sustainably. We've built steadily over years. It hasn't been a boom and bust scenario. We haven't. So we've gradually improved year on year. The processes, the infrastructure, the strategy of the club year on year has seen it come to this point where we believe that success is measured in different ways. We're a members-owned club. We don't have the biggest budgets. Football, the world over, the teams with the biggest budgets tend to win silverware.
Yeah.
And we're ambitious. We've an ambitious young team. The most important thing is that we continue to improve, that we continue to progress. The development of our squad, we're quite a young squad. Certainly when you benchmark that against our opponents tomorrow night, they're far more experienced than we have. But we, like I said, we believe that we're going in the right direction. We finished second in our domestic league last year. We finished third the year before. So it's important that it was a big step progressing around in Europe for us. It was a big step for a young group. But it's important, obviously, now that we face the challenges that we have to come domestically. I think we've got 18 games left to play in our league. So the business end of the season is still to come, and there's more growth in our group. There's a development in our group, and I believe that we can push on. Whether we can challenge for silverware this year, win the league, it's going to be very difficult. There's some good teams in our league, but we've got to make sure that we hit a consistent level of performance every week that we possibly can. And if we do that, and we believe that with a certain level of performance, we've got the quality within our team to generate the outcomes.
You say it's going to be very difficult, but will qualify? I mean, if the club qualifies for the UEFA Conference League, I mean, the double engagement of league and cup competition could, of course, take its toll on the league as well. No, I mean, every advantage has a disadvantage.
But wouldn't that be a great thing conundrum to face? It would be a great problem to have. So obviously we want to prolong our stay in Europe. We understand the task and the challenge ahead, and the challenges that a prolonged stay in Europe may bring to us. So we've got a squad. We've got some good players in our squad, and the depth of our squad certainly will be challenged over the next few weeks.
Last question: what can you tell us about the level of the competitiveness of the Irish League? What would you compare it to? The second, the third tier of English football, or?
I suppose it depends. There's probably leagues within leagues in our Premier Division. Certainly the top four teams will be Championship clubs, or sorry, League Two.
League Two?
Yeah, you would imagine.
Shamrock Rovers,
Absolutely,
League Two.
Dundalk, League Two, St Patrick's. You would imagine, but it's hard for me to. It's a different style of football in Ireland. Football in the UK, it's predominantly 4-4-2, a little bit more direct, a little bit more physical. I suppose our game is probably a little bit more technical than some of the lower leagues in the UK, for example. Maybe at the higher end of the table, you're probably looking at League Two, but it's difficult for me to really give you an absolute qualified answer on that. So I know all I can say is our league is getting better, it's getting stronger. We've had lots of international footballers playing in the league, fellas that have come back from the UK that it has not quite worked out, and they've taken the next step of their careers in our domestic league, and have gone on to bigger things at other clubs, and in turn in the international setup. So that's I suppose a little snapshot of what our league is about.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Keith.